Hello everybody, my name is Justus Beine and I'm the founder and CEO of BrainSafe. Today I have some exciting news. As of last week, they have finalized the consensus statement for concussion in sports. This means that they have updated recommendations and guidelines when it comes to a concussion. I want to highlight 4 different areas that are significant in this consensus statement. Those are prevention, the new assessment tools that are available, the physical activity after a concussion, and last but not least, how are we going to approach those individuals that have persistent symptoms longer than 4 weeks. Today, we're going to focus on prevention. In the consensus statement, they mention 4 different ways in how you can prevent or reduce the risk from a concussion happening. Number 1, that would be a policy or a rule change. For example, that would mean reducing the full contact practices in American football, or it could mean that you disallow body checking in ice hockey. Another way to prevent concussions and reduce it from happening is the use of mouth guard. They have seen in ice hockey a clear reduction of concussions happening when they use correct mouth guard. Number 3, that would be neuromuscular training as a part of the warm-up prior to the competition or the activity that you are performing. And number 4, that is to have a clear concussion strategy. That could mean to have a concussion management platform or to have a clear return to play protocol once a concussion has happened. We dig deeper into the new assessment tools that are available. We can now confirm that the SCAT5 is no longer the best tool available. Now we have SCAT6. SCAT6 now has a more comprehensive test battery. SCAT6 Child has now been more specific and precise towards 8 to 12-year-olds. We also have the CRT6, the concussion recognition tool, that is useful for non-medical personnel to be able to recognize a concussion when it happens, but also be able to rule out if you're supposed to send the individual to a hospital or not. Then we have the more interesting part. That's the SCOAT, the Standardized Concussion Office Assessment Tool. This tool is actually suitable for individuals from 72 hours post-concussion up until weeks after the concussion has happened. Let's look deeper into SCOAT. SCOAT actually mirrors the SCAT5 in many ways, but they also have some additions to make the assessment more comprehensive. It mirrors the symptom report. However, now they actually recommend that we measure the systolic and diastolic blood pressure. We also do a exam of the cervical spine, and we do a more comprehensive neurological exam. We also perform a VOM screening, a vestibular oculomotor screening. Those are the concussion tools that are now available. Something that they really stressed in the consensus statement is that you actually take the time to perform a proper assessment. This means that you spend 10 to 15 minutes minimum to assess the possible concussion that occurs. Consequently, this means that certain sports and activities might need to take a pause during that time period. Welcome back to part 3 of me summarizing the consensus statement and the important aspects of it. Let's talk about physical activity post-concussion. For the past couple of years, it's actually been known that physical activity is the main pillar of rehabilitation after a concussion. However, when are you supposed to initiate the physical activity? In the consensus statement, they have now reached a conclusion where they say 24 to 48 hours after the concussion is the appropriate time to first initiate subsymptomatic physical activity. They recommend easy activity such as stationary bike or taking walks. By introducing physical activity at an earlier stage has shown to decrease the days of injury significantly. They have now also included that you limit the screen time the first 24 to 48 hours after the concussion. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen and learn more about concussion and the latest updates. Don't be afraid to share this with your teammates, coaches, and fellow clinicians, so we can all live up to the standard and protect our athletes. How many concussions are too many? Let's talk about long-term symptoms or persistent symptoms. Persistent symptoms refers to symptoms that last longer than 4 weeks. When they last longer than 4 weeks, it's important to further evaluate and look into referral to get specialized care. Let's talk about retirement a little bit. Making the decision to retire from a contact sport or following too many concussions or persistent symptoms, it's a very, very difficult decision. Therefore, it's very important to perform a comprehensive evaluation with experienced professionals, multidisciplinary. This means from several different professions that can come in with different angles and different approaches. But also to involve a parent or a legal guardian if the athlete is underaged. However, despite the retirement, it's really important that you encourage the individual to still pursue physical activity, perhaps in a non-contact sport where the risk of collision is far less. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Have a great day.